From the gravel roads of Silk Island, Phnom Penh, Cambodia, welcome to the GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show.
Coming up this week, why gravel needs rules in order to protect it from itself.
Controversial, perhaps. We look forward to hearing what you think on that. We've also got 3 more reasons why cycling is great for your health, why if you're Remco Evenepoel, it's good for your bank balance, and we've also got a competition for you. You can win a mega Wahoo bundle of the head unit, heart rate monitor, and radar system. This week in the world of cycling, we learned that someone is taking aim at Filippo Ganna's world hour record, something which many people thought was going to be out of reach for decades.
Yeah, and who is the plucky challenger? Charlie Tanfield. Yep, David and Goliath moment, if ever there was one. We're going to be watching that one with interest.
We will indeed. We also learned once again that female pro cyclists have it harder than men. So in the wake of her incredible win at the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift, Ferrand Prévot was surrounded by comments both about how lean she'd got for the race and how her weight shouldn't be under scrutiny.
Yeah. For the record, I think that no, it shouldn't be a subject of debate. And yeah, she probably did take risks to win the Tour, but they were calculated and a kind of testament to her drive and her focus, really, aren't they?
Finally this week, we also learned what happens when you let a sport play out with no equipment rules. We will warn you that some of you may find the following images disturbing. This is what happens.
Ah! Apologies.
You're right.
Yeah, to those of you who are shocked and offended, we had to show them, didn't we, those upsetting images. It's our responsibility, really, to highlight these crimes.
Yeah, we had to do it.
The good news is that while these bikes, they have been disfigured, haven't they? The damage is largely reversible, and ultimately, no one was actually harmed.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah.
The context is that these bikes were bodged together for the latest round of the Lifetime Grand Prix, the USA's premier off-road racing series. The event in question is Leadville, which is a legendary 100-mile out and back. It's now in its 31st year.
Yeah, its nickname, do you know this, is the Race Across the Sky.
Oh.
Yeah, that's because it's high altitude.
That is quite a cool name,
It's
isn't
a
it?
very cool name, yes. I mean, if you're going to give a nickname to an event, that's the one, isn't it? Now, it has always been a mountain bike race, albeit a very untechnical, very gravelly one. But now, a few racers, just a few, are dabbling with fitting drop handlebars to their mountain bikes for added aero gains.
So a few at the moment. This could spiral out of control, couldn't it?
Yes.
So Dylan Johnson, he of Maximum Marginal Gravel Gains, was arguably the first to do it since about 1991. Well, it also used to be a thing, believe it or not, reckoning that it saved him a theoretical 6 minutes over the 6-hour event.
Yeah, now this is not to be sniffed at, right? As a racer, 6 minutes can make a world of difference.
Even if the men's winner this year, Keegan Swenson, had a margin of victory of 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean...
And Kate Courtney won by 10 minutes as well on the women's side.
I think you're being pedantic, Dan, aren't you? 6 minutes is potentially important, yeah? And the issue is here that this 6 minutes comes at great expense.
It does. And not just by new bars, stem and levers.
Literal expense, yeah.
It comes at the expense of making a beautiful bike feel like absolute crap. And we know this to be fact because we tried it last year and it was horrendous.
Exactly, yeah. So we turned an Orbea Ois, one of the nicest, fastest XC bikes on the planet, into a pig, frankly, that I wouldn't ride to the shops on. Yes, it might have been fast in a straight line while sat in the saddle, but this setup should come with a warning, frankly. Caution, this upgrade will ruin your bike.
Exactly, you tell them so.
I will, yeah.
What's worrying, though, is that this setup isn't now the preserve of racers, it's entering into the mainstream.
It is.
Even in the comments under your video that we put out on Saturday's site, this was one of a few there from Mark Davidson. What do you think about a dropped bar mountain bike for the ride?
I think no, Mark. I think no, absolutely not. 15 hours of riding a bike was bad enough. 15 hours of riding a bike that feels horrendous was not what was required, even if it had potentially saved me 30 seconds on one short piece of trail, potentially.
Now, we are obviously taking the piss a little bit.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
But the underlying point is that people are genuinely looking at this as a possible way to set up a bike, but we genuinely think that it's terrible?
We do, yeah. So the geometry of gravel and mountain bikes is significantly different, right? So if you go from a 700mm plus wide handlebar to a 400mm wide handlebar, which then has an additional, 100mm of reach on it, it changes the steering dynamics so much that it genuinely removes all joy of riding in any way other than sat in the saddle going in a straight line.
You really do feel quite strongly about this, don't you?
I genuinely do. Like, having ridden that setup, I really do. And more to the point, like, it's not essential. So Kate Courtney, who you mentioned a moment ago, she didn't just win on flat handlebars, she also broke the course record.
Well, perhaps she could have gone even quicker side.
Perhaps she could have done, but she's got class, so she didn't need to, I think, it's fair to say. It's probably a subject for another day, but interesting, this was her first, like, gravelly race, wasn't it? Because she's normally a World Cup mountain bike racer, but she's been injured, so she's doing her first race back, and she just turns and smashes it. Anyway, as we said, one for another day. Now, it's easy to think of the UCI, isn't it, making rules for road racing that are completely arbitrary and based only on a wing and a prayer. But actually, when you look at it objectively, they have done a pretty good job of stopping road bikes from ending up becoming bonkers in a way that I think would ultimately put people off riding them, which is kind of why I think the UCI are now about to ban a load more stuff as well.
That is one way of putting it, I guess.
Yeah.
But why not just let anyone do what they want in gravel? Because racing in a bike tech version of the Wild West, let's say, seems quite fitting for gravel, doesn't it?
I mean, it does, yeah. If anyone's going to race in the Wild West, it should be gravel. But ultimately, and I think this is really crucial actually, is that if you let anyone do whatever, it costs the consumer, doesn't it? It costs normal people. So it's hard to keep up with the pace of change, and you end up with bikes that are fast for pros and a bit crap for everyone else. And that is my genuine opinion.
But you know what I think about fast bikes, don't you?
I do, yeah. You think they're so fast that they scare you.
Yeah.
Or rather, you feel that they're dangerous.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not me, it's the bike, sorry.
Yeah. But this issue of costs, it's also partly, I think, what motivates the UCI trying to make sure that the arms race element of cycling is kind of minimised as much as possible.
Again, cue loads of rules, new rules. Actually, triathlon is famously a sport with far fewer rules, I would say, than cycling. And it's also famously expensive, we should say that as well.
Yeah.
Now, correlation obviously does not prove causation, but it's not going to stop us trying in this instance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are kind of right. I mean, if you, like, new tech doesn't come cheap, right?
No.
But if you need it to be competitive. By the way, slight segue, you know, last week I was out filming with Alex. He turned up without any socks.
Oh.
None at all.
We should put out another warning now. You may also find the following image disturbing. Can't believe it when you sent through that on the group chat. I sent that through on the group chat, shall I say. Aside from being disgusting, though, how is this relevant?
Triathlon, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Not that he is doing a triathlon, but he reminds me of a triathlete. And normally he looks pretty darn stylish when he rides, doesn't he? I literally couldn't take him seriously for the whole day. And instead of looking like a pro, any time I was riding behind him, all I could see was 2 frozen chickens.
And he just forgot his socks, did he? It wasn't a deliberate ploy.
He turned up wearing Birkenstocks, which is fine. He wasn't wearing socks with his Birkenstocks. Again, he's of a certain age, that's also fine. But he forgot to pack his cycling socks because he'd left them on the dryer because they were still a little bit damp the night before.
Then he got one pair, has he? It's interesting.
Well, yeah,
I've got 2 or 3. You know that triathlon does actually have one rule.
Does it?
Well, it's got more than one, but this one might be interesting to you. Men are not allowed to unzip their jerseys past the sternum for decency, apparently.
That's their rule.
Yeah.
There is an irony to that, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
But if even triathlon have a rule for the sake of decency, surely gravel can as well, right?
I'm a bit torn, to be honest, because on the one hand, for the majority of riders, gravel isn't a competitive sport, so rules are irrelevant. But just like on the road, even non-competitive riders look to pros to see what kind of kit they want to use and why they want to use it. Pros have a huge influence on what we all use, even if in some cases it might not be for the benefit of most people. And like I said before, it costs everyone money.
It does, yeah. Now, I think it might be a bit controversial if gravel does end up making rules.
Yeah. And who would make them?
Well, yeah.
Well, the UCI could, I guess, but most gravel races are run outside of their jurisdiction.
Exactly.
The UCI has no jurisdiction here.
No, it doesn't. And it's also not in the interests of other gravel events either, is it? To like, you know, come across as a bit fusty and say that, like, well, you're not allowed to run this and that, and your tyres have got to be narrower than this, because it makes them seem deeply uncool.
Yeah.
So no one would want to be that event, would they? So it actually does make you think. There's no one looking out for gravel racing, is there? There's no one organisation or group taking a look at the bigger picture.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe that doesn't matter, though, so maybe it's like the capitalist approach. The market will decide.
Well, there's a thought, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you lot think at home? I mean, does, dare we say it, gravel need protecting from itself? Would rules mean actually it would be cheaper? So you could be a graveler and not have to spend gazillions? I don't know. Get involved in the comment section. We'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. And unfortunately, I was filming with Alex that day, so you will have to watch a GCN video in the future.
You may remember also, Si, that about 10 years ago, when I became hell-bent and quite obsessed with taking the Moors Valley Strava KOM on the single track, that I was thinking of fitting drop bars to a full suspension mountain bike.
I do remember that. And didn't you just take a hacksaw to your handlebars?
Yeah.
You now have the narrowest mountain bike handlebars on a modern bike.
Yeah, but still no bar ends.
Oh, really?
No, I should put some bar ends on. I mean, they were great.
They were. To be fair, I'd ride Leadmill. That's a throwback to university days. Anyone from Sheffield? To Leadville. Sorry, that's a bit weird. I would run it on flat bars, but narrow, with bar ends. 100%.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. Let us know what you think.
And now it's time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now. I'm going to start with the news that yet another benefit of cycling has been found. A new study that shows that it helps to restore neural connections that have been damaged by Parkinson's disease.
So this was reported in Medical News Today, who'd looked at a study published in the Journal of Clinical Neurophysiology. As the study took 9 adults with Parkinson's and got them to do 12 rides over 4 weeks. All 12 of them had a deep brain stimulation device implanted ahead of the study.
Yeah, and then at the end of the 4 weeks, the researchers found a positive change in brain signals needed for motor control and movement. So as things stand, they don't know whether that's something specific about cycling that's making the improvements or whether any exercise, should I say, would have the same results.
Yeah, they're planning on looking into that in more detail in the future, aren't they? But sticking with the positive effects of cycling, we're also sent an interesting article from Professor Dr. Tom Wainwright. It linked to a study that looked into the treatment of hip osteoarthritis using cycling and education rather than the more traditional route of physiotherapy.
Yeah, thanks for sending that one over, Tom. Much appreciated. Anyway, over 3 years, 221 participants were recruited to the study, then randomly assigned to one method or the other. And they found that cycling and education showed superior outcomes.
Whilst also costing around 20% of the physiotherapy care equivalent.
Wow.
Which shows the potential savings of changing from the traditional route of managing the condition. Conclusion then, ride a bike. It's good for so many things.
Yeah, absolutely, including socialising as well. So this is something that we saw, thanks mate, we saw on cyclingwest.com. So there's an article by Peter Abraham. He took a visit to Austin in Texas to join the Breakfast Club ride, which is apparently the biggest group ride in the world.
Well, it's certainly big. 900 riders turned up on the day that Abraham was there.
Yeah.
And it genuinely sounds amazing, this ride. So those riders were split up into groups, and in each group were given 2 police cars to chaperone them on their ride.
Nice, yeah. That is pretty amazing, isn't it? So they meet up for coffee before the ride. That must be quite a queue.
I was thinking that,
Yeah, you definitely want to get there early, wouldn't you? Or to bring a thermos flask or something. Yeah. But anyway, and then they also have a hangout afterwards. So Abraham noted how inclusive the whole thing felt, and then he finished the article by speculating as to whether or not this type of ride could become a global movement.
Which would be quite amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think on the show here before, we've talked about whether there's room for the sort of cycling version of the park run. This sounds about as close to it as anything that we've heard about before. So yeah, I hope he's right.
I think police escorts
that
might be part of the,
definitely.
I wonder what else the recipe for success is. Probably weather in Austin.
Well, apparently it started during COVID and it's been very well organised from the very beginning.
It's interesting, isn't it? Organisation's what's missing from... No, there must be something else.
Yeah, there must be something else. If you've ever done the ride, let us know what makes it so special and how it's got to where it is.
Oh, I tell you what, that would be a good one to go and do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If we can have a formal invitation from someone, send it over. Right, a bit of racing news now. Just after we'd recorded the show last week, Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe and Soudal Quickstep put out press releases to say that Remco Evenepoel will be moving to one from the other next season.
So he'll be on a reported salary of somewhere between 6 and 8 million euros. Oh. Must be nice opening your bank account on the first of a month, mustn't it, and seeing 500 grand there. Anyway, I took a detailed look at the whole thing in yesterday's GCN Racing News show if you want to know more on that.
Do you think it is just paid into his bank account, like into a current account?
Well, I don't know.
This is what I mean. Like, it would be weird, like you say, to look at your bank.
My cycling salary was, but obviously it's quite different amounts.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny thought, that, isn't it? Because every month you'd then be like, oh, bloody hell, I've got to put that somewhere. Otherwise, I'm going to be losing money on it.
Well, you'd check it, wouldn't you? Because you'd want to make sure that whoever's done it has put the right number of zeros.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't given you 50 grand, it's 500.
I guess if you get paid 8 million a year, you've probably got someone whose job it is to look after your 8 million as it comes in.
Yeah.
Maybe not a full-time job, but like certainly a part-time. Anyway, we digress. If there are any big earners out there, let us know how you get paid every month.
and how much is it? And how do we get it? Anyway.
Right. Well, speaking of big earners, Tadej Pogacar has mentioned retirement for the second time in the space of a couple of weeks, hasn't he? He was doing a criterium at home in Slovenia last week, and he told reporters that he was already counting down the years until he retires.
Well, I've got something in common with Tadej Pogacar at last, Si.
Yeah. I mean, you can't be far off drawing your pension now, can you? Given that, well, it was your birthday yesterday.
No, it was, yeah. Well, I'm 21 years away from the current retirement age here in the UK, but I am sort of expecting that by the time I get there, it will have moved to being like over 90 before you get your pension here.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Imagine how many cycling comebacks you're going to have to make between now and the age of 90.
Well, yeah. Content forever, Si.
That's it, yeah.
Anyway, back to Pogacar. It sounds like he might be drawing his pension in his late 20s at this rate, doesn't it? That final week of this year's Tour de France, it must have really taken it out of him physically and mentally, because I've never heard him talk about retirement before, and like you just said, twice in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean, he did look pretty tired
didn't
in the last week of the Tour de France. I mean, everyone was pretty blooming tired in the Tour de France, but I mean, maybe to be that successful, like, it is harder. You know, like, he makes racing look easy, but maybe everything just takes it out of him. And maybe there's less of a motivation to continue.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I certainly can't imagine being in that position, that's for sure.
Same.
Anyway, what is undeniably good is that if you are a talented youngster now, though, you might be able to win something when you turn pro. So
you joke, but that's kind of true.
It is kind of true.
There's a lot of people waiting for Pogacar to retire. It's pretty music to their ears that it might come earlier than they thought.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to finish cycling shorts with the announcement of a new giveaway, courtesy of our mates over at Wahoo.
Yeah, this is cool, right? So up for grabs, a GPS head unit, heart rate and radar bundle. So the winner will get a Wahoo Ace, that's their full bells and whistles head unit, a tracker heart rate strap and a tracker radar as well.
There is a link in the description below that's going to take you straight to a page with all the details that you need. You can enter wherever you are in the world. Those entries will close on the 22nd of August at 10 a.m. BST, and we'll be announcing the lucky winner in the following week's GCN show. Well worth entering, because I entirely agreed with your sentiments, Si, on that Shropshire FKT from the weekend, that GPS head units are probably the most underrated upgrades in cycling from what we had back in the day. The ability to do the best local ride wherever you are in the world is truly amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it genuinely still blows my mind how big a difference it makes to the riding that you can do. And I mean, like I said in that FKT video, those routes, I mean, someone obviously said in the comments, well, you could do it with a map.
I thought they might.
Could do it with a map, but it wouldn't be a big day, it would be a big 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally does make that much difference. Like, stopping every few hundred metres.
Especially for an off-road route like that.
Yeah, exactly. Mad. So yeah, it's absolutely insane. So yeah, that's a piece of tech that's definitely made cycling better, isn't it?
True.
And less dangerous.
Yeah. it is now time for hack/Bodge of the week. We've got some belters for you this week. Not the first one, though.
Well, so Tyre Fumbler, I should say, actually, has sent this one in that they spotted in a Telegram group. They've said, I guess the question is not hack/Bodge, but how many things are about to go wrong that you can see? So the kid's seat on the top tube, it's probably a bit dodgy on a carbon frame, isn't it?
Yeah, so let's describe it for the podcast listeners. So we've got the child's seat that is clamped with a rather heavy-looking clamp to a carbon top tube.
Yeah.
There's then a footrest which is clamped to the carbon down tube.
Yeah.
And then we've got some aero bars that are clamped to this carbon stem.
Yeah. I guess when you put it like that, there's a lot of clamping of delicate carbon in places that maybe doesn't want to get clamped.
And it's an AliExpress special, we found out, this bike as well, so it can be very delicate carbon, potentially.
Potentially, or bomb-proof. Who knows?
Yeah, there is that, yeah.
That is what you don't know. But also, do you think the kid's going to hold on to the aero bars with this one?
That would be amazing if he decided he's going to go faster if his kid's aero on the front.
Well, it would fill the void, wouldn't it? The void. It would fill the void.
Maybe I need that for the time trial I'm doing tonight, Si.
Dan, for the record, is absolutely petrified of his time trial tonight. He's been moaning about it all day.
I have, yeah. I can't wait to get it over and done with.
There you go.
Yeah, that's going to be a video worth watching. Well, I'm going Bodge.
Yeah, I think we better go Bodge.
Yeah.
Anything that sort of like messes around with structural integrity and safety is probably a Bodge, isn't it, really? I think we're on safer ground with this next one, though, aren't we?
We are. This came in from Dimrub. The handlebar tape on my new Camino tie got loose, probably because it was not fastened with electrical tape. Rather than re-wrapping the whole thing, I fashioned something akin to tie levers, but flatter and narrower, out of the blunt end of 2 chopsticks. I then lifted the second loop of the tape with these levers, put the loose end underneath, then removed the levers carefully. And it's as good as new. It does look good, doesn't it?
It does look good. So I think the issue here is not that it's not tied with electrical tape, it's just that someone's done that trick of doing the handlebar tape the other way, haven't they? So instead of it being taped at the centre near your stem, it's taped at the drops, which can look very neat, but as you've discovered, is also prone to coming unwrapped. So fair play for fixing it again. I would probably add a bit of electrical tape on top, wouldn't you?
Well, I'd give it a go for a while and see how long it lasts for. Well, I just don't want it unravelling during a ride. You'd have to send another picture in of how you bodged it during the ride then, or hacked it, or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
But still, I'm still going hack because I do think it looks neat when there's no electrical tape at the end there.
Yeah, it's a good fix that, and it's a good fix. Yeah, go on then. We'll give that a hack. Well done, Dimrub. Next one, we got this video sent in from Daniel Gross from NYC. He said, my friend Isaac did a tour of Vermont on a vintage steel bike. Halfway through, the spring in his rear derailleur broke. Being a mechanical engineer, he replaced it with 2 hair ties and managed to get his gears shifting again. He got into the next bike shop we could get a proper fix. When I read this first, I was not expecting it to be that spring that had broken, but that is quite a neat fix,
It's a very neat fix.
Yeah.
Definitely not. I would never have thought about that, as you can well imagine.
You probably wouldn't have had a hair tie either, would you?
No, but if I had thought of it, I might have asked somebody else if they had a hair tie, but I wouldn't have thought of it.
No, I wouldn't have thought of it.
Pointless discussion. It's a hack from me.
Hack from me, a roadside hack, for sure.
Rob Anderson sent in this title, Rebellion Way Tinfoil Tech. So whilst on day 1 of cycling the Rebellion Way, my SRAM rival rear derailleur stopped working. I was unable to change out of a really easy gear. The battery was fine, but one of the pins on the derailleur had become stuck, should I say. Unable to unstick it, my ride was saved by the ingenuity of an ex-Royal Navy engineer friend who suggested we use tin foil to make the circuit with the battery. The fix worked and enabled me to cycle with working gears for the whole of the next 2 days and complete the full ride.
I love this. Absolutely brilliant. I had no idea that that was a thing that could happen to SRAM rear derailleurs, but what a fix.
Yeah, amazing.
The moral of today's story is be an engineer, or at least ride with one. And then
you wouldn't have had him tin foil with you, would you? I'm in the same predicament as me about my hair ties.
You know, I had tinfoil with me on my epic ride from last week. I did.
Was it wrapped?
It would be covered in flapjack grease, but I still think there'd be enough conductivity, rather. Yeah, this is absolutely insanely cool, isn't it?
Why do you need so much excess foil though coming out the battery?
Well, maybe that was left on for illustrative purposes. Because you're right. I mean, it might get caught on something, or blow away in a stiff breeze, and then you'd end up back in square one again, wouldn't you? But no, I think this is genius.
Well, that's a definite hack from the both of us.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, like you said at the beginning of that, it was a good week, wasn't it?
It was a good week. Let's make it another good week next time around. globalcyclingnetwork.com/uploader to get involved in that part of the show.
It's time now for Caption Competition, that part of the show where you get a chance to get your hands on a coveted GCN Camelback water bottle. All you got to do is put a witty caption in the comment section down below. We'll give you the photo that it needs to relate to in just 1 second after the results from last week.
This is the photo that we gave you last week. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot winning stage 9 of the Tour de France Femme avec Zwift and riding sideways across the road. Our winner this week is Road and Hardtail, who put Caption Competition. It was just a leased bike, but now it's her velo.
That is good.
Very good. You've got the accent over the E and everything.
Her velo. When I read that first, I lolled.
Yeah.
I had to take my virtual hat off to you, Road and Hardtail, because that is just brilliant. Right, get in touch and we will get your GCN Camelback out to you. Camelback water bottle, I should say. Dan, what's our photo for this week?
Our photo this week comes, I think, from the Vuelta a Burgos. Actually, Dan, it looks like the Vuelta a Burgos.
It does look a bit like the
Too
Vuelta a
warm for
Burgos.
Norway. It doesn't look like Poland either. This is Damiano Caruso, the green jersey wearer, and his teammate Torsten Trine. I will get you started. I took quite a long time thinking about this, and it's probably the most terrible caption I've ever come up with anyway. But here goes. This is Damiano Caruso, my bike.
Well, that is bad, isn't it?
It's so bad. I've just lost the will to live with it.
But do you think maybe, because obviously it was your birthday yesterday,
Yeah.
do you think maybe perhaps you've just lost?
I'm close to 50 than 40 now. Life's sort of...
Well, just the ability to sort of quickly think up witty things, maybe. I don't know, is that it?
I like the way you're implying that I used to be able to. That's good. I'm sure you can do better this week. Put your captions in the comment section down below and we will pick a winner. And I will be distinctly jealous and think to myself, I wish I'd thought of that.
By the way, can I just say, for the record, I do really like Dan. Someone in the comment section last week on the GCN show told me to stop bullying you.
Well, we've had that a few times.
Yeah, so apologies, Dan, for bullying.
I should probably point out that quite often when we're coming up with the script for the show, we sort of put in jokes for each other to say, taking the piss out of each other.
We do. Although, for the record, I've never made a joke about my ankles. Those are always yours.
Yeah. We will shortly let you know what's coming up on GCN this week. First up, as always, a few of our favourite comments from the last week's worth of videos. Start with the GCN show. Dan Thirgillis. So, why is my new bike dangerously slow? Whilst Martin Brown put, cows are cuddly and they love a hug. So maybe give it a go next time.
Well, yeah. People keep sharing horrendous cow reels with me on Instagram. Someone, I can't remember, apologies for not remembering who sent it, I will check. But they sent me one of this guy mountain biking and he launched this massive jump and on the landing was a cow and he just hit it full on. He ended up breaking 2 bones. I think it must have been his arm and his femur or something. Oh. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how the cow fared in this, but it didn't look very cuddly.
What's your Instagram handle in case people come across any cool cow reels?
No more cool cow reels. Honestly, I'm traumatised enough as it is. That one was horrendous. Anyway, Lev Borov said, I think Dan actually looked better in recent videos.
I put these ones in.
Than in the one you've shown for comparison. Followed by Daniel T91.
This is a reply.
He ages like fine wine. He also seems to have a great personality. Somehow, very relatable, honest and humble. And you said you put those comments in.
I copied, I didn't write the comments, even though it looks like I might have done. But I copied and pasted them in there so you could read it out for me.
Well, there we go. Yeah.
Underneath how to stop getting dropped, I like this one from King K. Raw. Said, I cycle alone, problem solved. I got a lot of likes, that did.
I mean, there is something quite liberating about not having to worry about whether you're going to get dropped.
Well, there is that, yeah.
I sympathise with that.
I did put some nice ones about you from your Shropshire FKT video, so
thanks,
I'll read
mate.
them out now. Adam Morris said, I was born and raised in Shropshire, but I've lived in New Zealand for many years. This is quite possibly the first ever time that I felt homesick. Thanks for a great video and an awesome effort, Si.
There you go.
Giles Palund, another epic video from GCN, as per usual by now. This and a cup of warm coffee is a great way to start the weekend. Thanks for sharing your adventure, Si. Oh, and Guy Kesteven was fantastic with such a passionate and suspenseful narration. Fantastic. Guy Kesteven himself actually commented on the video after you'd mentioned him. I don't know if you were particularly positive, were you, about towards the end?
Well, I was. The guy was amazing, and he was very helpful. But he sort of said, like, oh, yeah, the descent off the Longmynd was really hard, but now we've made it easy. And then when I rode into it, it was...
You had to get off?
Treacherous. Yeah, well, by that point, I was so far gone that I thought, like, I could try and tiptoe my way down, but it'd be a shame to, like, you know, end up in a very bloody heap at the bottom.
That would have been a shame. So anyway, a guy commented under the video and said, sorry about the surprise descent into Church Stretton, Si. I actually did a rowdier one on the recce ride, but decided it was too much, so we rerouted down that gentler one instead, he says. Probably should have mentioned a little rise past Caradoc, is it?
Yeah.
Afterwards, though. Epic effort, though, mate. Proper inspiring.
Well, thank you, Guy. Yeah, the climb after the Longmynd was horrendous as well. So
it wouldn't have been if you thought it was going to be hard, though. Not as horrendous.
No, it wouldn't. No, I was mentally like I said in the video, I made a big mistake putting the finish line 2 hours before the finish. I mean, yeah, that was. You know, you live and learn, don't you? Really,
you live and learn.
Yeah, that's one of those things. But anyway, no, it was cool. And then Connor did a great little investigation into the science of cadence, which I thought, like Connor, I thought it was done now, but no, people are still learning lots. Livy 7590 said, I think that as with most things, the modern answer is do whatever Pogacar does.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Edit Royd said, is that right? Yeah,
Yep.
Edit Droid, shall I say. You've simultaneously the most aero bike computer setup I've ever seen, but just below it, the least aerodynamic bundle bag positioned in the worst possible way. Any words, Connor, before your sentencing is the end of that comment, which I particularly liked.
Connor's immune to these things. We regularly take him to task for having non-matching water bottles, which, as a GCN presenter, he doesn't need to do. But he's just like water on a duck's back to that man.
It is.
He's currently in the wilds of Tajikistan, would you believe?
Has he got there already, has he?
Well, technically, as we're filming this, he's in the air, but by the time this show goes out, he will have landed. And we're dead excited about that. So yeah,
It's going to be a good one.
Grade A adventure video coming soon to you.
Right then, coming up on the channel this week, starting on Thursday, we've got how to change gear. Can't remember who did that one now.
It was Connor with his handlebar bag, actually.
That was it.
Yeah. So yeah, back to basics, but yeah, until you know. You don't know, right? So yeah, and then on Saturday, in our search for the world's strongest cyclists that aren't cyclists, we tapped up the UK's strongest man, who was an absolute monster of a human being. And we wanted to see just how strong he was on a bike.
Yeah, I've seen clips from that as well. I'm looking forward to that video.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to Sunday's video.
Might need retitling. It's currently down as Can Dan beat his 10-mile time trial personal best? Might need to be how close can Dan get to his time trial PB based on an initial little test I did last Thursday.
Mate, we know just how far cycling technology has advanced to the point where you barely need to pedal now and you can go 40k an hour.
Yeah, what we didn't know is how much worse I am than I used to be.
We know exactly where you're at, Dan. I've got faith in you, mate. Just give it full gas, get your head down.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. Anyway, that video will be coming out on Sunday for the time trial that I'm doing tonight. This video happens to go out relatively early today on Tuesday. If you want to come down to Ringwood by the Lidl roundabout there at 7 p.m, I'll be kicking off then. And if you, rather than watching the side of the road, if you could drive past me quite slowly a number of times, then I might get even close to my PB.
Is it like a Lidl time trial? Like, is it authorised by Lidl?
No, but they've had to reroute it because since I got my PB back in 2010, there's a new industrial estate with a Lidl and then a roundabout where there didn't used to be one.
Oh, so actually the course is slower than it was. So
yeah, there is that.
If you don't make your PB,
it probably makes a couple of minutes difference, that roundabout.
How big is the roundabout? Oh, right, there we go. Good luck, Dan.
Thank you.
I think you will need it. And we will see you back here next week.
Just one final thing. The most annoying thing is that, you remember we did that same thing with David Miller? He decided to see how close he could get to his course record.
Oh, yeah, that great video last year.
Yeah, so last year, in his late 40s, the average power that he did that day was the same as my best ever in the times when I got my PB. His retirement power is my best ever.
It's a bit sobering, isn't it?
Yeah, it's annoying.
He's a bit bigger than you, isn't he? A couple of kilos heavier. So his power to weight ratio.
Yeah, it's quite similar.
Yeah.